So let's take a few calls right now. Matthew in North Carolina, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how you doing, bud?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Nothing, man. I just wanted to tell you about, I ran into a Freemason, and he told me to read some books, and he said, like, to become a Freemason, not that I wanted to become a Freemason or anything, he said, read William Cooper's To Behold the Pale Horse. I think it was Defrauding America by Ralph Emerson, and I just wanted to let you know, Rush Limbaugh, he told America that William Cooper was dangerous, and he was one of the dangerous radio hosts. So I just want you to be careful, man. Love you.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Look, I'm not in the business of getting in fights with William Cooper, but people tried to set him up against me because he did some jealousy broadcasts, and most people that attack me aren't government agents. They're mad. And he started seeing that I was more popular than him. I never heard his radio show. Never heard it. And you can go back to my early TV shows. You know, I was citing G. Edward Griffin, Ron Paul. Those were the people. If you see those first shows, I was pretty close to a mainline Republican. Kind of like Republicans today that are starting to get into Ron Paul. That was about the level I was at. I mean, I knew about the Federal Reserve. I knew about global banks. I knew about monopoly capitalism. I knew socialism and fascism were controlled by the banks. I'd read Gary Allen's. You know who woke me up? It's Gary Allen. It's Bob Chapman. Bob Chapman, published that book. He paid for it. That's who woke me up. And so I wasn't into UFOs. I've never covered UFOs. That's not me. He was a UFOologist. That's what he did. And he was on WBCQ that no one can hear in Texas. And by the time after I'd interviewed him, trying to help him out when I heard the IRS was after him, the age of the internet had begun, people said, hey, you better know who this guy is. Here are audio recordings of him attacking you. So I was sent cassette tapes that were recorded off shortwave that I could barely understand. So I didn't really listen to much of it. I popped one in, and he said that I'm a transvestite that wears ruby nipple rings, and I thought it was a joke. And then I finally read the Behold a Pale Horse I've been mailed. I've been mailed a lot of them, and it was it said that Jesus was sacrificed by aliens, and there were holograms and flying saucer submarines, and I mean, I couldn't get through it. And so I'm forced to just explain to people that William Cooper could attack me all he wanted to, and that's fine. It was all just because Genesis put my show on at night, and he flipped out. Now, since then, I've heard a lot of it and thought I was going up against him. I had never heard him. I don't have time to listen to cassette tapes people send me. One time driving up to Waco to build the memorial church for those that died, I popped it in the cassette in my Tahoe and was just like, I mean, those recordings are out there, He said I was at a public event being given an award dressed as a transvestite, and Jesus is an alien. I mean, this was just, Jesus was being filmed with aliens, holograms. I mean, just lunatic crazy. I mean, just lunatic nuts. I had no idea. And I was talking to Jason Burmis about this the other night, and he goes, yeah, he went and printed it up, actually. In fact, get Jason's here, and I cleaned off the desk. Get him to print the passages where aliens filmed Jesus being crucified by the other aliens. I mean, folks, if that... it's just so crazy to me that's what COINTELPRO used to try to discredit me, is that guy, who everybody I talked to said that you would call him up and he would just start screaming and cussing at you. And he was well known for that. And just so out of his mind that I don't think he was an agent, though. I think he was a complete lunatic. And, I cover real issues, things I can prove, documented facts I can cover. And I don't like speaking ill of the dead. But from the grave, that guy attacks me. And, I mean, have people really looked? I mean, it's like that there's some, what's his name? See, I haven't seen much of it, but I've got YouTube hooked up to a TV set in my garage. And for about a week or two, I was addicted to watching videos attacking me so I could run and watch him and laugh. But there's a guy, oh, man, I forget his name. He writes books about the Vatican running everything. And I've exposed the Vatican. I talk about other third world government and New World Order and all this. But no, he says I'm a Vatican assassin agent. It'll pop in my head in a minute, and I'm this super evil guy and all this stuff with no evidence, no proof. And then I actually went and watched him, and he said that Catholic priests doing black magic, fire atom bombs, and that they drop them out of flying saucers on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I mean, this is the most howling at the moon, lunatic stuff. And then I get emails the few times I've mentioned that saying, yes, it's true, and you're an evil devil, and you know how to create A-bombs. I mean, these people are, and they mean it, folks. I know how to go zzz, A-bomb, power, power, and I mean, it's crazy. Anyways, I said I'd take your calls. It's just, we're going off down side issues now. I just get sad for people that spend the majority of their time believing these people. And look, I have nothing against Jewish people. I even have Jewish friends who are really nice, great people, and went to college with Jewish friends. I had an Iraqi friend in high school and college, too. Iraqis are nice people. Had black friends, have black friends. But they Photoshop my head and say it's real on somebody's body, and then put me next to a Jewish lady and put me in a photo with rabbis and say it's real. And people say, respond to this. This is your Jewish wedding. It's not true. I mean, I can't spend all day responding to this. Look, I'm not into holograms of Jesus being crucified. I'm not into flying submarines. I'm not into chupacabras, and I'm not bashing people that aren't. They can be into that all day. But I am who I am. I am what I say I am. And I'm faithful to everybody 110%. I'm the real deal. Just like you're the real deal. And you're meant to get confused and spend all your time and energy wondering if I'm real or not, so that you wonder if you're real. Instead of going out and taking action, warning people, getting involved, going to these county commissioner meetings, city council meetings, when your congressman comes to town, everything I've been saying to show that we, the majority, don't agree with the issues. I try to cover actual issues and trends. Instead, half of our movement spends their time talking about me and whether I'm real or not. And that's great if I was just a Hollywood star and it was whether I was on the tabloids or not. But it's bad. So it's good for me overall because any publicity is good publicity, but it's bad for the overall awakening. That you're not out there doing positive, meaningful, real work, that you're caught up in Operation Chaos, that you're caught up, that's a real FBI program still going on today, to get us all fighting. So I hate saying bad things about Mr. Cooper, but I mean, it's just the truth. He wrote this stuff, and I influenced him clearly to get more credible now that I've researched it, because his UFO stuff wasn't working, and always changing his stories about the aliens and stuff in the meetings and wild stuff. And then he changed all the story down the road and became the big patriot leader, and he's going to fight the New World Order, and he's the only leader, and everybody else is full of baloney, and nobody's good but him. Remember that? Because, again, and I think he went crazy. But I've seen local talk show hosts that have 10,000 listeners go crazy. They can't handle the power. Me, I become more humble as we gain momentum. And so I trust in God. We'll take more calls when we get back. Next hour coming up. Huge blitz of key info. Stay with us.